Hello world, hello world. Welcome back to my channel. Call me Biz. Norm Macdonald, Swedish German joke. Shout out to Norm. I'm trying to find more of these bits. I know he has a lot of them on David Letterman, so that's a whole, that's gonna be a whole other, rabbit hole. So that's dope. So y'all let me know which bits from David Letterman that y'all like as far as Norm Macdonald. Yeah, so let me know what's next from Norm Macdonald, and I got you. Don't forget to like the video, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, let me know that you are here, and also shout out to all the members of the channel, and you too could be a member. All right, I think we're like 4 strong right now. Yeah, we holding on. Yeah, no more ghost watching. Let's get it.
He's good, man.
That's a can-do, Norm. You came charging out like
that. Yeah, because Peter, look at this audience, man. They don't care about that. Why? They like jokes.
The Swedes are with you.
They got flags. They got flags.
Yeah, they got flags, and they're scoring you. You've got 3 9s and an 8 so far for your
Where
entrance.
Where are you guys from, man?
Oh, you got one.
Oh, sweet. That's Sweden?
Yeah.
God bless you, man. Everything's good about... you're an Irishman. Me mother, she was orange. Me father, he was green. It was the biggest mix-up that you have ever seen. I'm Scottish. I'm a Scot. You're Irish.
Yes.
What are you?
Swedish German.
Swedish German? Are you really?
Yeah, really. Why would I lie about that? It's not funny.
It's very odd, 'cause...
It's a very strange lie. I put one over on those people. Yeah.
Swedish German.
No, I'll tell you why it's funny, man, because I was in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah.
I met a good old boy down there, and he said, he said, you know Andy Richter?
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
You met a guy in Georgia, and he said, you know Andy Richter?
Oh, yeah, you do guys do well there.
Oh.
And he said, I said, yeah. He said, have you ever heard of Andy Richter joke? I said, no. He said, well, most of it's based on him being Swedish German. And then he told me an Andy Richter joke. And
really?
But I didn't know he was Swedish German. I thought it was all nonsense.
Yeah, well, now this lines up perfectly. Let me ask you something, because it sort of relates to the first...
Wait, don't you want to hear the joke?
No. Oh, you're down to 6. You're down to 6. All right, this joke will get you back up.
You can get him back.
Okay. Let's hear the joke.
Well, the fellow says, he says, you ever heard the time about the old prospector? That's how he talks,
Yeah.
He says, man, there was an old prospector, and he was prospecting for gold, and he was having a hell of a time getting any gold. It was an empty stake, I believe. And he said he'd come into town one day. He'd been in the mine for a good 8 months. He said, by God, he said, I'm only flesh and blood.
Sure. You're working
and
hard.
I need a woman, And so he goes into town. He goes up to the bartender. He says, bartender, he says, man, I've been in that mine for a hell of a long time, and I'm only flesh and blood. I need a woman. Well, the bartender says, hell, there ain't no women in this town. If you want to do any of that business, all we got is Andy Richter, the Swedish German. The prospector, he says, no, he says, hell, I ain't into that funny stuff, He says, I'll be fine. So he goes back to his state, and he's back in that mine, man, and 6 months passes, and a year passes, and Conan, people are weak. Man is made of flesh and pride, as the scriptures tell us, and by God, that old prospector finally broke to his knees, and he said, I'm no worse than... Then he went back to the bar. He was a beaten man. He says to the bartender, he says, hell, man, I've been in that place 2.5 years. A man has needs, and if you say there's no women in this here town, he says, well, I'll have to go for Andy Richter, the Swedish German. But he says, listen now, he says, man, I'm a tough old hombre, and I got friends now. He says, I don't want anybody to know about this. This is back in the old days.
Sure, yeah.
He says,
I can tell by the accent, yeah.
He says, I got my cowpoke friends and so forth. I'd hate to hell anybody know about this. This got to be all secret. Nobody. I say, nobody can know about this. Bartender says, well, 4 people will know about it. How do you figure that? He says, well, he says, I'll know about it. He says, you'll know about it. Andy Richter, the Swedish German, will know about it. And the fella that has to hold down Andy will know about it. Why? Because Andy Richter, the Swedish German, he don't go for that funny business neither.
At least you left me my dignity.
Yeah.
I like the way that story ended.
Yeah,
That was a nice...
You weren't gay.
Right. No, but that's not beside the point.
You were raped.
No, it's more.
Yo, that's
More that I wasn't prostituting myself.
yeah. I remember a comedian said, no, no grape jokes are funny. I mean, but look, I'm not saying like certain things you probably shouldn't joke about, but if you do the joke right, yeah, like, I'm gonna stop while I'm ahead. Look, didn't he tell a similar joke, but instead of Indy, the joke was a pig? Wasn't it a what? I could have sworn I heard the same joke, but it was about a pig. But he just switched the pig out with Andy and kind of like improvised a little, just the Swedish German thing. Am I tripping, or did I do this exact video before a while ago? I don't think I've done this video. I haven't seen this video. So y'all tell me if I'm tripping, man. I think I'm tripping, but I think he told a joke about the same dude working in the mines, blah blah blah, and they told him about the pig. I don't know. Yo, I'm not tripping. I think he told us. But anyways, he was really excited to be there. That's probably the most energy I've seen Norm Macdonald have. Like, that was a lot of energy. He was fired up, especially to tell that Swedish German joke. At least he left him his dignity. Yeah. So what do y'all think about that? Do y'all think, this is a moral question I'm asking. When it comes to comedy, right? People are always fighting for what could I say? What can I say? And there's also like, okay, you might really believe it, and you're putting it in a joke to trying to like, make it seem like you don't really believe it. There's that, there's the people that say it don't matter if you're a professional comedian and your job is to make people laugh, you should be able to say whatever you want to say. I think that's it. So then goes the question: is a grape joke ever funny? Because we all morally like, okay, that's wrong. We know that's wrong. But if the joke is a good joke, are you a bad person for laughing at it? You let me know how you feel about it in the comment section below. Also, let me know what's next from Norm Macdonald, and I got you. If you made it this far, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like the video, leave a comment, and I will see y'all in the next one. And guess what? You better beat up. Peace.